Today's session is about eliminating admin overload and really focusing on closing. So this is for our sales professionals out there, our entrepreneurs, our small business owners that are constantly on the grind and really being overloaded with administrative tasks. No one wants to do them, but they're crucial to supporting your business and your business growth. And so we just want to really inform you guys on some tips and tricks, as well as a couple tools to really eliminate manual need for some of those tasks, especially with mileage tracking. And we do have a great guest speaker, Keith Carson, who will present or will introduce himself shortly. But before that, I would like if everyone can just take a moment and scan their screen to follow us on LinkedIn if you have not already. We post a lot of informative content as well as share when we do our MQ&As, the topics, the speakers, just really any resources and information that we want to provide, you'll find it there. So definitely encourage you guys to give us a look and a follow. All righty. And now I would like to introduce our esteemed guest speaker, Keith Carson,
Too
who is the
kind, Bridget.
CEO. Sorry, excuse me.
You're way too kind, my friend.
Oh,
That's
I'm
not what
not
my
kind, I'm
family
just
says
truthful.
about me.
Just speaking the truth. But yes, Keith Carson, as you guys hear, is the CEO and founder of Integrated Sales Solutions. So he actually worked with us on the sales side of Mileage Quest and has an extensive history really supporting business owners in various industries with their sales goals. So without further ado, Keith, if you'd like to introduce yourself, that'd be great.
Yeah, Keith Carson with Integrated Sales Solutions, as Bridget said. And my work in the world is to help develop healthy sales professionals and high-performing sales systems. And the way in which I do that is by providing fractional VP of sales services, as well as some sales coaching and what I describe as sales counseling, because I think sales professionals oftentimes need a counselor rather than a coach. And I've been doing that for the last 3 years. Work with small to medium-sized businesses that maybe don't have the capital to afford a VP of sales, but need a more sophisticated sales strategy and approach in order to be able to reach their target market.
Absolutely. Thanks so much, Keith, for that introduction. And we'll hop right into the session, kind of starting out with you outlining what a day in the life is for, an on-the-go sales professional or entrepreneur.
A day in the life, no doubt. So typically after I drop the kids off at school, that's my duty. So then after that, head to a coffee meeting with maybe a prospective client or could be with a colleague. And then after that coffee meeting, I'll stay and post up at that coffee shop to maybe knock out some urgent admin tasks that I either didn't do the night before or was unable to do when I had woken up before my morning meeting. Midday, drive across town. Maybe I've got a networking event that I want to attend. And when I get to the networking event, I'm taking a Zoom call in the car. Marilyn, I can feel you multitasking there in the vehicle. I get that. This is my life as well. I live in the same world as you do. In the afternoon, maybe I post up at a coffee shop or I need to drop in back at the house, crank out a few emails, respond to a few calls, and then in the evening back out to head to a networking event or happy hour across town. So this is my life as a sales leader and as an entrepreneur, and I'm sure you guys can relate in many ways.
Absolutely. And so with that, do you feel that you have a constant battle with that admin work and really the time drain associated with you having to balance so many of those tasks?
Yes, Bridget, definitely. They are endless, right? The admin tasks are endless. I cannot remember the last time that I've had a day where I'm like, I did everything that was on my to-do list. And so when you think about the world of the sales professional or the entrepreneur, right, you're scheduling meetings, you're following up with emails, updating your CRM is a substantial admin activity that the sales professional or sales leader needs to engage in and can just consume your time. I've got a expense report that I've got to submit to my manager. I've got receipts that I've got to send into my executive assistant or through an app on my phone. I've got to review a contract. Anybody overwhelmed yet? I get overwhelmed by these activities. And not to mention, especially if it is not um, your skill set, right? It is not your gifts, skills, and abilities admin task. Historically, broad stroke, I understand, but sales professionals enjoy being out there, talking to people, shaking hands, building relationships, connecting with others. And as an entrepreneur, you have to do those things. So the admin activities are not only cumbersome, but they're oftentimes outside of your gifts, skills, and abilities as well. And mileage tracking is certainly one of those tasks and activities that is always in the background and something that I need an organization like Mileage Quest to be able to solve and do for me.
Absolutely. And can you kind of go into how this battle or balance battle impacts business goals?
Yeah, it's significant impact, Bridget. So, I'm always thinking about Stephen Covey's quadrants of importance versus urgent. I love this diagram and graphic as well, but the y-axis and the x-axis are really the most important aspects of this. And the reality is, in order for you to be effective as a sales professional, and it's been my experience, in order for me to be effective as an entrepreneur, I need to be working on the business and not always in the business. I need to be moving the ball forward or down the field in those important activities, not always the most urgent activities. And that's the interesting thing about sales and business development is that in most cases, although you might have a projected close date for an account, it's not urgent that you close business now in the same way that it's urgent for you to submit an expense report, or it's urgent for you to track that mileage from that day and capture it, or you have to get those receipts over to someone, right? So, it, the, prospecting and selling doesn't typically have a due date like a lot of these admin activities and tasks. So your work needs to be in the important category, but not always urgent. And yes, yet these admin tasks, man, they can just consume your time because oftentimes they are urgent, um, probably fluctuate between important and not important, depending on their due date. Um, but they can, rush at you like a roaring lion. It reminds me of my social media feed where it's like, notification here and friend request here and message here. And how do I follow up with all of that and prioritize really what's most important?
Absolutely. And so this is a great tool for you to kind of organize your thoughts and really categorize what's important, what's not. What do I spend my time doing? What do I not spend my time doing? After that step, though, what are the tools that you implement to, get things across the finish line?
Yeah, love some of these tools. The first one I'll mention is not even on here, but I was just talking to my son about this today, the Pomodoro technique, which I had just posted on LinkedIn about this the other day. But it's a technique that actually has you set a timer for 25 minutes. I have ADHD. This social media world doesn't necessarily help me with that. And I was talking to my son this morning. I said, son, if you need to stay focused in on an activity, be honest with yourself and say, hey, listen, my attention span is relatively short, right? So let me set a timer for 25 minutes. Then you pick your head up after those 25 minutes. You kind of look around. Should I continue to engage in this task? Should I move on to something else? So highly recommend the Pomodoro technique for you. Rev, I love, which is basically a transcription tool. So if I need to write a long and thoughtful email, if I need to generate a social media post, I'm going to utilize Rev because it allows me to be able to, in essence, talk into my phone and then transcribes it, whether it's human transcription, which is 100% accurate, or it's an AI transcription, which is about 90% accurate. Sends me the email. I upload it to a Word document, make a few edits, and boom, I can send that out. Read AI, significant fan of this. This is kind of like a Zoom add-on. It allows me to be able to take the notes from a meeting, the executive summary, the action steps, and be able to pull those out, copy and paste them from the report, put them into an email, and send out to a prospect or send out to a client. In the past, I would be writing these in my Evernote, taking the notes, and then I would have to kind of summarize those notes, make sure the grammar was correct, make sure I included the action steps, and pull that into an email. Read AI does that for you. It also assesses the level of engagement people have on your call, which I think is extremely helpful for the sales professional. And then ChatGPT, the question that I'm asking myself nowadays with regards to AI and the work that I do is, can AI in a responsible way actually make me more effective and make me more efficient at this particular task? I probably use ChatGPT, I don't know, 2 or 3 times a day. And I'm just amazed at some of the things that it's helped me do that would have required me a tremendous amount of time in the past. I don't use it for everything. I think a whole nother discussion about responsible use of AI. But when it comes to some of these smaller admin tasks that historically would suck my time, I've been able to use some tools like ChatGPT to help me be more efficient with those.
Definitely. I love ChatGPT. I'm like, organize these notes, please.
Yes, right, exactly. Very
Awesome.
helpful.
So I wanted to kind of transition back to that mileage tracking, pain point that you talked
Yeah,
about
yeah.
earlier, and kind of support it with kind of quantifying really the impact that either documenting your mileage has, or, what you're losing by not documenting it. So can you kind of just go through this additional day in the life and how it supports you wanting to have a tool that automates that mileage tracking?
Totally. And one of the things that I've really appreciated about our work together has been the ability for the app to be able to categorize the mileage. So let me give you an example on Monday. So I head to a coffee networking event, and sometimes the coffee, I know ahead of time, right, it's a prospect, or we're going to have a substantial business discussion. And so I know that I want to record and track that mileage. But there's also meetings that I go to where it might be with a colleague and friend, but turns into a substantial business conversation. Or it's an event that I go to that probably could be categorized as business. And one of the insights that you guys have given me is that even some of the charitable work that I do, so driving to a food kitchen to volunteer, or some of the healthcare visits that I take, also could be considered as potentially deductible. So I need something in the background just tracking this, right? Like, what I do is I like to make sure it's tracking it, kind of everywhere that I'm going. And then at the end of the day, I can look at the trips that I took and the trips that Mileage Quest recorded, and then I can categorize those trips. And you can do that in less than 5 minutes. So I don't want to have to be going through my day and having to think about, right, if I'm going to a meeting with a prospect, all I want to be thinking about is solving their problems and helping them get better at what they do. If they're a sales professional, if they're an organization, help them grow, generate more revenue. So I don't want to have to be thinking about, gosh, is my mileage app on? Is this a business meeting? Is this not a business meeting? How many miles am I driving? It just, you got to have something like this.
Absolutely. Definitely agree. And, we really made Mileage Quest with, you in mind, like people like you, people that are always on the go, that don't have the time or want to think about, oh, I'm going from this place to this place and then this place to that place. Let me write down in my little logbook every single time,
Yeah.
the mileage. That's just, I mean, who is going to do that nowadays? And when you have
Yeah.
technology here to support that, and automate it, why not, right? So actually, that is the perfect segue to go into our next slide, please, Rochelle, about what Mileage Quest is. So we are an automatic mileage tracking app that really simplifies the mileage tracking process for individuals and businesses alike. So through automatic mileage tracking, classification, reporting, documenting and generating those IRS compliant, tax compliant reports. We really take it from, 0 to 100 in terms of streamlining that process. And if you go to the next slide, I just wanted to go over some features really quickly. So like Keith said, you want something that's working in the background without having to go and toggle it on. There's a lot of mileage tracking apps out there that require you to do that, right? Which takes away the entire point of having a tool that's supposed to simplify the process for you. And so Mileage Quest was built with a very sensitive trigger that knows when you're driving, and it'll start, as soon as you get in that car and start having some movement, and it'll make sure that it's documented and captured in the app, and you're able to kind of go in and save that trip and classify it with your specifications. So as business, commute, personal, and medical and charitable, as Keith mentioned. And those are widely disregarded just because people don't know that that's something that you can also take advantage of if you do capture it accurately, right? And that is the whole purpose of this. This app was made with CPAs and IRS experience behind them. So they know the importance of documenting and substantiating, your claims with evidence. And so Mileage Quest does all of that for you without you having to lift a single finger. Additionally, we do have a great calendar integration feature where you're able to sync up your digital calendar with the app, and it's able to record past and previous events that you do have. So if you have a client meeting that's logged in your calendar and it's at City Club at this amount of time, and you have that invite with the recipient or your client in the invite, it'll actually bring all of that into Mileage Quest, and all you have to do is save it. And this is really great for people that have not routinely captured their mileage, but do have a calendar that they're able to kind of go in and sync up with the app and capture mileage. I know there's specific timeframes that the IRS and your tax preparer will advise you on how far back you can try and, get those claims or those deductions back. But, it's really a great tool for those to use. And lastly, all that documentation and information that we're gathering is going to be presented in automatic IRS or compliant reports that can be generated within the app. So your mileage reimbursement report, which is your traditional mileage log, but in an automated form. So this is really great for employees and entrepreneurs, business owners, independent contractors, because this replaces that little book or that little sheet of paper that you have that you're writing down all of your trips in, right? And then we do have a few other reports. So that annual tax preparer report. So all of your CPAs will definitely thank you, especially at this time of year. And so instead of you giving them a handful of receipts or asking them to use last year's mileage, you have a nice, beautiful report that you can offer them, and it'll really streamline that tax preparation process and also make sure that you're receiving the maximum deductions that you possibly can. And then additionally, we do have a couple vehicle insight reports, so a vehicle usage report and a vehicle information report, which allow you to see a comprehensive overview of your mileage. So it segments it based on how many business trips you saved, how many commutes you saved, how many is personal, and then with that, you're really able to unlock some tax advantages and also just insights that can help you with some financial decisions. So buying and leasing a car, fleet vehicles, purchasing those for your employees or for yourself. So really having this as an overall and supportive tool is how we kind of wanted to build the app and make sure that it aligns with the needs of on-the-go professionals. And so with that, I did want to close out with letting everyone know that we are on the Android app. We have been on it for a few months. So for those of you that are on Android, we're really excited about this and really wanting you guys to try the app out on the Android interface and definitely give us your feedback. This is also great for team onboarding. So if you do have a large, staff base that are all over the place, we definitely want to make sure that they're being onboarded and taken care of all at one time. And then for those of you that are currently in the app, we just want to make sure that you have the latest version. So if you do not have automatic updates on, either switch that on or make sure that you're being diligent with updating the app. We are pushing updates out pretty frequently now just to make sure that you guys have the best features and the best functionality while you're using it. And if you do have any questions or need any additional help, then please contact the tech support in the feedback tab within the app or on our website. Or if you do have any of our information, then you can definitely reach out to us personally as well, or on social media, lastly. And so with that, we will close out the session and open it up for questions and comments. And yes, feel free to pick all of our brains, whether it's about sales hacks, tactics, and Keith's experience, or if you want to know some specifications about Mileage Quest as well.
Let me also give a shout out to Rochelle, who has been like my personal support person. She's been fantastic as I started getting rolling on the app and had a few questions. Extremely responsive. So get her contact info.
Yes, we do have our IT team on the call, so feel free to ask any technical questions that you'd like.
Extremely helpful.
Awesome. If you do want to have or share a comment but don't want to turn off your mic, then please feel free to or type that up in the chat. That's right up or the Q&A as well. Not be shy. I'm just kidding.
This is Dr. Luff. For some reason, I'm not able to turn on my camera.
Oh, no worries about that.
Disabled on your side, but I wish you guys could see me. But Keith, I want to thank you for your presentation. I really enjoyed, particularly the hacks for better efficiency. I think you're right. I am one of those guys that would rather go to happy hour and do business than put all the things together of everything I do. And it's actually one of the areas I need to work on. So I appreciate you highlighting that piece. And Bridget, thank you for the presentation on Mileage Quest. You know what? I have a competitor of yours, and I'm going to take them off my phone.
Oh my goodness, we love that.
Well, one phone at a time, Doctor. One phone at a time. I love it.
I'll tell you, yeah. Mileage IQ, you're gone, baby.
Out of here. We love to hear that. Okay, I will reach out to you. Oops, sorry.
Here's why. Because they don't provide me with a report that I can prepare for my tax person at the end of the year. How about that one?
Love that. And and that's exactly why having this app, the foundation of it coming from CPAs and IRS auditors, so important and one of our hugest differentiators.
Yeah, no, so I just wanted to say it was well worth my time. Thank you both. Keith, I'll connect with you on LinkedIn and hopefully we can connect.
You bet. Thanks,
Perfect.
Doctor.
Thank you, Doctor. And I'll reach out to you personally as well and get you started on MQ.
Sounds good.
Awesome. And Stephanie just asked, is there a trial? Yes, there is a trial, and we will provide the resources not only for this presentation and the recording and an email after, but also some links for you guys to book a demo call with our team and get a more in-depth understanding of Mileage Quest and its capabilities. That all good, Stephanie?
Hi.
Perfect.
Hi.
Yes, Sean.
How you doing? I want to make sure you're done. I raised my little hand. I don't know if you could see it, but anyway, I just wanted to say thank you, Keith. You're a great speaker and presenter. And I wanted to, I logged on late, but I wanted to make sure that you and Keith talked about the calendar integration, how it reduces duplication and redundancy, because if the event is on your calendar, once you start and stop the trip, it's already there and documented. So it, kind of saves a lot of time.
Yes, absolutely. We did touch upon that, but that is, great additional insight, really taking out that manual need for sure. That's the whole point, making things easy.
Important point, Sean. Been so helpful for me that I know the app is tracking through my calendar appointments. And as long as I'm putting in that address, right, the location that I'm going to, the app's picking it up every time. So extremely helpful feature.
Absolutely. All right. Any other questions or comments, or if you want to share insights into your current mileage management tactics or lack thereof, we definitely like, having this be an open forum for you to provide feedback, or kind of just giving us some understanding about how mileage management is impacting you and your business goals.
Hello, everyone. This is Tamara Washington. Sean and I are actually sitting in the parking lot of a rental car facility at Tampa Airport. We flew into Tampa for a wedding, so that's why we're just now able to log on. But I wanted to just to say hello to everyone. And Keith, you are a rock star. I mean, you're so knowledgeable, and we're so pleased to have you as one of our partners. So I wanted to say that. And I'm glad to see that Dr. Luff was able to join us today. I was introduced to Dr. Luff through Anthony Millicon with Target River, who is our marketing consulting firm. And, just wanted to give a shout out to Dr. Luff and to let you all know that I was invited to participate on a panel this upcoming February 25th at the University Club atop Symphony Towers in San Diego. So for those in the area, hopefully you'll be able to, hop in and see what Dr. Luff is up to with Pathways to Success, and be on the lookout for notifications regarding that event. And again, just wanted to chime in and say hello. Sean is the CFO of Mileage Quest and co-founder, and I'm president and CEO. So thank you all for logging on today. And again, Keith, thanks so much. We appreciate you.
You bet, Tamara.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, everyone. That is time. And just remember, you are going to receive an email with all of these resources, links, and Keith did add his LinkedIn right there in the comment section, but we'll make sure to add it in the follow-up email as well so you guys can connect.
Pretty great. Love to.
Alrighty, everyone.
Thanks,
Thank you
guys.
so much.
Thank you so much.